The Mortal Kombat 2 movie trailer has finally hit us. Get the pun? I thought it sounded better in my head. All of these videos dropped while I was at work today, and so it'd be way too late to just make this a reaction. In this video, I will go over all the Easter eggs or clips that are tied to gameplay from the series, and then I'll also discuss any of the controversy behind the trailer. If there's anything people really dislike, basically, which it's the MK community. I know I'm going to see something that is pissing off people on Twitter. Alright, editing Diff here. Unfortunately, I'm seeing every other MK creator get copyright claims from WB featuring the trailer at all in their videos. Well, if you didn't know, I got a strike last month for reacting to tournament gameplay. I think it was CEO. So I'm just not willing to show anything from the trailer in this video. I will have all the examples in game. It's just tragic overall. I think this video is still easy to follow because everything matches so closely to the trailer. I just wish I could show it without fear of not being able to upload for a certain period of time. I'd be on strike 2 of 3 possible. I just can't take the risk on my 12-year-old channel. Now right here, this is where I was first seeing bald Jade. And hey, I made this joke on Twitter right away. I think it's kind of a banger if you ask me. It's so similar and such a coincidence that it's just hilarious to me. I mean, hey, it doesn't really bother me one way or the other, but you can't tell me you don't look at Jade and think of Will Smith slapping Chris Rock. I mean, come on now. It can't just be me, but this was my reaction when I finally saw it and my critique of it. I shouldn't have paused. And this screenshot here looks sick, but is Jada Smith now canonically in the MK universe? I'm obviously kidding. There's nothing wrong with this inherently, even though I know if I go on Twitter, people are pissed about bald Jade. It just to me doesn't really make sense. So I always picture Katana as the looks good and fights clean. Female character, that is. And then you move to Jade, looks good, fights dirty, female character. And then you hit the trifecta with Melina where it's looks dirty and fights dirty. And I'm not calling bald people unattractive or dirty or whatever, but I always felt Jade was supposed to be conventionally attractive. I mean, this is a movie, so follow conventional themes of attractiveness, and I always felt like that was the underlying point of Jade, because in MK11, she has some pretty harsh Melina-like lines, quips, taunts, things like that. But on the exterior, when you look at her, she looks beautiful and looks really well put together, so it doesn't make a ton of sense just to make her look more rugged, but that is my opinion. I just always segmented Katana, Jade, Melina in that exact way. Pretty much all the characters look amazing. I wish we got Cabal in this second movie as well, because I think he would fit a lot better. Now, I only saw Cole Young twice, and it was very short, which I think is a good thing, but I'm gonna be honest, Johnny Cage being the main character still doesn't leave me with a ton of confidence. The reason I say that is the reason I dislike Cole Young is not because of him, the actor, or anything like that. It's because that means we'll be spending a ton of time in Earthrealm, and to me, the Earthrealm characters in MK are the least cool to watch in a cinematic way. They don't usually have these crazy over-the-top powers, and that's my fear. We swapped in Johnny Cage, and we'll still spend 85% of the movie on Earth not doing a lot of cool action with special powers. But overall, I think Johnny Cage is way better than Cole Young just for the fanfare of it. He's a cool character, an iconic character, and I'm happy to see him be the lead over Cole. And yeah, my overall thoughts would be, I think they're going in the right direction. I saw things that looked like actual 2D fighting game and looked like a tournament style story, not the story we got in the first one. But honestly, what I will say is the action looks so good, and there seems to be a ton of sequences with cool fights, which is just so much better than the first one. Okay, but all the Easter eggs and gameplay comparisons, here we go. I'm gonna start listing them out. So right off rip in the trailer, we saw Johnny Cage in this skin right here. This is actually a skin he can wear in MK11 with the shades and all. It's super cool that they brought this out. It might not be an exact match, but yeah, it's pretty much this MK11 skin. For Katana, I feel her costume itself looks very MK11. Now, there's not an exact match though in the game, as far as I can tell. And the fans, I also can't exactly match. It's kind of a mix between an MK11 fan like this this and an MK1 fan like this, where the blades go over, under, over, under. This stage right here, it's a fan favorite. You've probably seen it in the orange color, you know, but yeah, it's a fan favorite. Everybody loves it. This shot right here, I believe, is a nod to Towers of Time. Now you can kind of focus in on the background and see, but compare that to MK1 Towers of Time. You see what I mean? It's almost like they're in a tower. And I think that's the case even more because it comes right after a shot of a city skyline with buildings that we call towers being the skyscrapers. And I just feel it's a nod to Towers of Time. Pol Young looks to be either where the MK1 story takes place or over here on MK11, the acid pool stage, I'm pretty sure. I'm not 100%, but it does look very similar. Jade, despite it looking like Jada Smith, it's cool to see they immediately nodded to her actual ability. She runs, which she can sprint in MK11, unlike most characters, as well as the fact she does the low staff into the ground. That is another special move she can use in MK11, usually used for a mix-up, but yeah, she can use a low. Raiden, I still think, is the character that acts and is least like the games, but at least this time I'd say his costume just looks like MKX Raiden. Like, that's the easiest comparison. In this shot of Liu Kang right here, I think this is a nod to the MK1 finisher where he shoots up the two dragons. Jax tapping his knuckles together you can find in multiple games, and in MK11 you did it to charge up damage. So I think it's a nod to MK11. Also, Jax is hitting a ground pound. We know about the ground pound. This fireball from Liu Kang is very similar to his back forward 3 in MK1. It even has like the dragon kind of look to it. Baraka actually used the same block animation that he uses in Mortal Kombat 1, and truthfully probably the same block animation he uses in MK11. For the Baraka attack where he uses blade sparks, they kind of combined the animation of the MK11 version in terms of how he moves his arms to cast the ability, but then it works similar to MK1 where it's the actual spike shooting off of his arm into the opponent, unlike MK11 where it is legitimately a spark off the two blades that goes and hits the opponent. Now, one of the most impressive parts of the trailer to me, and it is truly a nod, it's got to be, even though it doesn't quite work the same, we're gonna count it as a straight up nod to the games. Sindel's scream, you see the two Sonya projectiles going at her. It essentially eats those projectiles and lands instead. That is the way I see it. And now, if you've played MK11 and you do a fatal blow with Sindel versus Sonya's 2 energy ring shots, you actually can break through the energy shots with an armor break. It's really cool. Scorpion uses 2 spears at the same time, and that's kind of a nod to his finishers in Mortal Kombat will sometimes feature 2 spears, even if the gameplay only shows 1. So I like that. It's kind of neat. For Noob Saibot, it's like they took the entire MK11 version of Noob and just threw him in the movie. He looks so much like Noob Saibot from that game. I mean, he has the sickles. Scorpion split Noob down the middle like this. I believe it's a nod to this finisher right here, you know, in MK11. They took a lot from what I feel is MK11 nods in this movie. This is literally his taunt in MK11 saying, "You suck," when he's taunting you in-game to get the buffs put onto him. He points the finger at you and says you suck. So this katana move we saw right here on Shao Kahn, I sound like a broken record, but there is this move right here at MK11 that looks very similar, and then she used an upward fan toss earlier, so you can combine the two if you're in the corner in that game. It's really cool. Oh, we do have an MK1 style Easter egg, and it's this right here. Notice Kano shooting the eye laser, and Johnny Cage slides under it. Now, it's probably just for the story of the movie, but if you use Kano Kameo in MK1, notice how Johnny Cage will duck down as if the laser's gonna go over him. I think that's a really nice touch if you're gonna use the Kano eye lasers. Anyways, hope you guys are hype as well. I'll see you in the next video.